Hey everyone, my name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. If you like this content, please subscribe. Leave some comments if you want to see other videos or if you want me to chart something for you. Maybe I'll make a video for everybody. And that's what this is today. Some people wanted some more technical analysis. They wanted me to include some of the picks that I have. So you know what? I'll do it. Let's see what we've got and what the charts look like and why I picked some of these companies. So we'll dive in here to look at some of the companies that I think look pretty good. So Crew Energy was one that somebody wanted to see. You can see this downtrend. It broke to the upside here. And what that means is I think the downside risk is kind of sucked out of it. This usually typically goes sideways or higher from here. So I'm going to zoom in on that portion, that tip. So we see a step change here. And we see volumes coming in here, very clear as day where that volume is. And I've circled these big up days all throughout here. So it's a nice move higher, and then it steps back like this. That's an indication of a market that wants to go higher for this stock. Again, I circled all of these big up days, boom, 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 with big volume too. And then the nice little leak out, slow pullback. Big up day, bullish engulfing, goes higher. Now we're going here, nice big up day with big volume. That's when I was like, ooh, it's gonna break. This is when I was like, everybody gotta get in. It broke out of its top side here of this pattern. It's right at the top of the pattern. And usually when they break out like this is the lowest risk spot to purchase because it broke out of its chart pattern to the upside. We've got natural gas that's looking very good. We've got oil that's looked pretty good. And I think eventually it may hang out here for a teeny bit and then go higher. This is a very good area to be purchasing Crew Energy, in my opinion. Birchcliff Energy is another one. Again, it broke out to the upside here. You can see it either goes sideways or goes higher for the majority of these moves. So I zoomed in on it. This is what it looks like. Step change here. You can see there's not many big up days or anything. It's all big down days, and then boom. It's like the buyers took control, volume stepping in everywhere. Big move higher, that pullback. We got a bullish engulfing there. That typically means that it's going to go higher. Goes higher, big up days, pullback, big up days, pullback, big up days, pullback, big up day, little pullback. I think this thing's, if it breaks here, I think it's ready to explode higher. Birchcliff could be one that is a very good setup. You can even draw this in here with the higher lows. Nice little pattern here, which I think it's going to just, you might see like a 4 or 5% up day up to 20%. I mean, usually when they break these things, they go. So that looks very good. Here's Tudor Gold. I drew a nice large pattern. I drew where I purchased a lot of it. So what I was looking for is I was looking at this large pattern. They're going to come out with a bunch of drill results. And it was hugging this upside rail. And I looked at the chart in this area back then. And man, did it look exceptionally good. I was like, pile in, pile in. It was like 50 cents a share, roughly. And I was piling in and then boom, gone. I think it went all the way up to, $3. Now it's consolidating. I still own it, haven't sold a single share. Why would I? Once it breaks out of this pattern here, I think, or you can maybe even draw it here if you want a more of a identical pattern here. But it's probably going to break to the upside and it's going to be a large move higher, very large move. Buying it, here, I'm focusing in here. This is the pattern that I saw if you want to look before it. You can draw a line here. So there's a little pattern here, broke to the downside, and it was coming up, and I saw this big move with the pattern coming up here. And then you saw big up, little pullback, big up, little pullback. And that's when I was like, ooh, got to get in. And it was like around 50 cents. 50 cents is like right here. So I was buying in this area right in here, around 50 cents. And then boom, all the volume came in and it's going higher. This volume's not going to sell out. And you can tell that the volume's declining here on this pullback. And if you look really close, it's that same type of pattern. Big moves higher, small down days. Big moves higher, smaller down days. Big moves higher, and it's contracting and contracting and contracting into this pattern out here. And I have a feeling that when it breaks this pattern, it's going to be a very large move. Probably something like this added to this when it goes up. So I think Tudor Gold looks very good to me. I've been accumulating a little bit, not a ton. This position's gotten quite large, so I kind of just leaving it go. Here's VALE, and then there's a couple of things I want to point out here. This is the previous bull market before. So in 2000, you kind of didn't make a ton of gains. Granted, some new investors, you may think you're making very large gains. You might be up 100, 200, 300, 400% in some of the picks that I have, even already, depending when you bought SM, QEP's doing it. But if you notice, I just want you to notice this trend. It's kind of a slow start. We're the smart money. We're buying in here. It's a slow start. Then it starts ramping up even more. Then it goes to a blow off top. Then when it breaks this upper trend line, you want to sell out, like right in here. If your indicators all turn red up here, you could probably start cost averaging out. That would be my opinion. So you'd cost average out when it turns red, which would be cost, like sell, and then you're out. That would be ideal. Some people, I would probably even start selling in this area too, just because once it goes vertical, I'd be like, it's getting close to sell point. I'd probably sell a little bit, and then come up, sell a little bit. It's very hard to time. Now here's a nice these wedge patterns, and usually I'm a buyer here, and this is where I purchased some of my VALE back in 2016, and it popped out, and now we're just moving higher. You can see this nice little consolidation pattern there, moving higher, and then it went sideways for a while. If you draw this pattern right there at the top here, I should have drawn it for you guys because I showed it in other patterns here. It broke to the upside of this wedge pattern. This is gonna move quite a bit higher, I think, going forward. Now this is kind of a bubble. This is what a bubble looks like, and I showed you on that VALE chart slide before. Stealth phase, awareness phase, there's a bear trap. This is what we have to endure. We have to endure this 20, 30, 40% sell-off. All the bears jump in, and then boom, it goes higher. Again, if you look at this, it comes up. This is the bear trap right here, and you got to be really careful because you don't want to sell out here. You got to know your valuation. You got to know your not just your valuation, but the market conditions as well. You got to know that you're in a commodities bull market. You don't want to be shaken out of here because these are pretty big down moves here, and here. And these are bear traps right before. This is the bear trap right here, because if you notice, the trap is kind of in this awareness phase. It's right before the mania phase. So this could be considered a bear trap right here. That's the one. But these will screw you up too if you don't hold on, you don't know where you're at. But this is the bear trap, and then boom, higher, just rocket ships. And this here is a bubble phase at the top here. So I'm going to show you some more bubbles. This is Tesla. And Tesla, you can see the stealth phase was back here. I actually shared my purchases in 2018, but this was the stealth phase in the beginning, then it went up, bear trap, and then boom, higher. Now this is going to break this very big move higher here. This isn't going vertical forever. It'll break out, and then it's going to completely come back down because they have no earnings to support this price. And it takes a long time for these earnings to catch up. It's not going to take, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. This is a company that's priced. It's going to be priced like Apple, and Apple has $25 billion in cash. These guys are diluting their shares, so I know what's going on. I'm waiting for the bubble phase to be done when I sell my shares. So here's Apple, and you can see the same thing: stealth phase, and then you get this intermediate move, and then it goes even higher, and then it goes vertical. Whenever it goes vertical, and see how this thing's paused here and it's moving around, it's going to break this, and it's going to deflate back down quite a bit, I think. And here I'm zoomed in on Apple right now. There's a step change here, and look at the volumes kick up. Someone's selling this, and they're selling it in a lot. See these big down days? Bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing, and then we have this move that kind of comes back up. Bearish piercing, down, come back up, bearish engulfing, bearish, or a big move down, smaller up days all throughout here. Do you see those small up days everywhere? Where'd the big up days go? And look at all the big down days. This is a step change. I think this is going to roll over and come down. And I want to show something here. Oops. Berkshire Hathaway appears to have sold about $4 billion of Apple stock in third quarter, according to filings, and that's November 9th, 2020. They know this is a top. And this right here looks like a topping pattern to me. And they sold November 9th. That's perfect. That's a perfect exit point. I mean, just perfect if they sold it in here. Very good for them. And if they sold even up in this, maybe this is them causing this chart pattern. I don't know. But it looks like a topping pattern to me. So, hopefully this gives you a little more technical analysis of what I look for, kind of the descriptions, what the movements look like for a bubble, stealth phase, the institutional phase, and then the bubble phase. So maybe this can give you a little bit more confidence to hold on. Always look at your valuations. If your valuations, the ratios are saying it is dirt cheap, and you have a commodity bull market coming, dude, we're gonna rip this thing. We're gonna get so much money out of this if you're on this channel, and you have the confidence. You figure out that confidence to hold, and you can properly value things. If you can't properly value things and you don't have that confidence, you almost have to know this. When you talk to other people, they're going to say, how the hell do you know this? How do you for surely know this? And it's like, I've done my homework. I've looked at the valuations. I know what bubbles look like. I know, I'm watching the indicators that are that could ruin a market. And what's going to ruin this market is going to be the housing market. That's what will happen at the end. You're going to see housing starts fall. You're going to see, your leading indicators are going to go bad. That's inventory, days on the market, and we're going to be in a hyper supply phase, so your housing starts are going to be very high. That's when you know that this is getting close. You start watching the ratios. When the ratios start turning red, when oil to gold is expensive, when natural gas is expensive, when all these things are expensive, those are all signs. Now, you're going to have a window. It's not going to be gigantic. You want to cost average out at the top. If I was an Apple, I would be cost averaging out. That's what I would be doing. I'm watching Tesla right now. I'm going to cost average out at some point. And even some of these other tech stocks, they're getting up there. They're getting nosebleed levels. Could they double again? Maybe. That's why I'm holding. I'm watching. These valuations are completely ludicrous. They are not well valued. I would by no means buy any of these stocks right now. I would be staring at the ones that I charted right here, and I'd be looking and looking for the best values you can find in the commodity sectors. I think they're going to go up a lot higher than where they're from. A lot higher, like way higher. I don't know the exact amounts, but look for the patterns in this. Look for this pattern here. Look for this. We're right here in the stealth phase in a lot of these, especially oil, natural gas. They are so cheap. And then eventually they're gonna go. And when they go vertical, that's when you got to start looking at your valuations. You got to be nuts on those valuations. So if you like this content, please subscribe, click the thumbs up button, and hopefully there's a lot of value here for everybody on learning what bubbles look like and kind of how to chart some things out and looking at buy points. So thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.